bus. I recently had the pleasure of buying a 10 tons worth of steel. And what is the recycling value on 10 tons worth of steel? Not that I ever would. It's all mixed steel. They wouldn't give you full price. I recently had the pleasure of buying 10 tons worth of steel. Lesson number one. The guy with the YouTube channel was correct. This is something I knew beforehand. There's no such thing as a good deal on a rusty bus. No such thing. I was a track guy. There's no such thing as a good deal on a rusty car. So it's the same thing here. Don't buy a rusty bus. Get underneath. Take a look. On everything, take a magnet. On everything, if something moves in the way steel should not move, move on. That's really that simple. I used to sell cars. So there are a few rules I'm familiar with. I'm just not familiar with diesel or the sheer size of the vehicle and getting it registered and insured and so forth and so on. But the deal is you have to get on Facebook Marketplace because that's reputable, right? And talk to a guy in wherever, find a way out to him, fork over a ton of money. He's going to give you a bill of sale because what does that do? And fork over a ton of money to him. He's going to give you a bill of sale and a title, hopefully, and you're going to turn a key on a vehicle type that you've probably never driven before and drive it 6 to 10 to 12 hours home. I found one on Facebook Marketplace, went out to Denver, met a guy, knew him for 17 minutes before I forked over a few $1,000s to him. Turned the key. He drove it down the street, drove it back. He didn't like to look at the road a lot. It was kind of scary. But he drove it back. It didn't smoke. It didn't knock more than I guess a diesel motor should knock. The tires held air. All the basics were there. If you don't know a lot about cars, you know how to use your eyes, right? You know how to use your ears, right? If something doesn't sound right, if something doesn't sound or look right with the person, then do not buy. I used to buy and sell cars all the time since I was probably 19 or 20. Yeah. Do not buy from someone you feel uncomfortable somehow with and doesn't have the right answers and has all the answers. If someone you're buying from has all the answers, there's going to be some stuff that he shouldn't know. And at least on 3 occasions, the guy that I bought this bus from said, "I don't know that." And he was honest about it, and I could tell, and he didn't just go, "I don't know." He just I don't know. I just got it. I've only had it for this long. And that was the end of that. And on that note, I asked him before I went out there, I asked him to send me a picture of the VIN number despite it already being on Facebook Marketplaces. I wanted 2 separate pictures of the VIN number because the VIN number is incorrect. You're going nowhere. You're going to have to return that truck to whomever actually owns it. And he sent me the VIN number, and what you may not know is you can put the VIN number in Google. I put the VIN number in Google. Not only did I see where he bought the bus from, I saw the date that he bought the bus. I saw how much he paid for the bus. Where was the auction house he bought the bus from? What was the last time the bus was in service? I got all types of information. So he's just an intermediary. He doesn't know anything about this vehicle. He never knew anything about this vehicle. His dad was, in my situation, his dad was a car dealer, had a dealer's license, was able to go to the auction, bought the vehicle for $1,200 or $1,100, and then sold it to me. and that's business. There's nothing wrong with that. I got no problem with that. And please don't give the guy a hard time. Just pay him what he's asking. If he's asking $7,000 to $10,000 for something, ugh, yeah, all right, fine. Give him a little bit of a hard time. But if you're getting what you're giving and you're given what you're getting, then just roll with it. Don't haggle. When I was selling cars, don't haggle. You're not haggling. Whatever you haggle from me, I'm gonna get back. As a guy who used to sell Toyotas, you come in, you haggle with me, I'm getting that money back on the back end. So don't think you're getting a good deal. Yeah, you can go home, tell whoever you want to tell that you got a good deal and you got over on them and you won. That's not the case. Am I still recording? Yeah. It's just not the case. Something that we've all heard is that the house always wins. And when you come to my house to buy a car, I'm going to win. And I did. On every sale, I won. But back to buying a school bus, don't haggle with the guy. Fork over the money he wants. Move on with your life. You're never paying rent again. You're going to stop paying electric bills soon. And the only thing you're really going to have to worry about is diesel gas, the price of diesel gasoline, which won't matter anyways, because you're not paying rent or a mortgage, or you don't have any loans out anymore. So who cares if you pay $2,000 more? When I bought my RV, I paid $3,000 more than it was worth. Why? Because I was renting for 40 years and I knew that I was winning. Because I was no longer buying from the house. I was no longer buying from the bank. So I won. And for the next 4 years, I paid no utilities. And no matter what money I put into it, it was still going to be less than paying rent. So there's that. Something to consider when you're buying a bus. Something I used to consider when I bought this bus. I get in my car. I get on the internet, look for a plane ticket to this guy. Had 29 connections, one going to Fiji, and I live in Albuquerque, so it's a straight shot up to Denver. It's one highway, Highway 25. It goes right there. So I was like, all right, look, this is what I got. I've been trying to look for a flight. Can't find a flight. I'm going to get on the Greyhound. Greyhound's $55. Let's do this. $55. Greyhound bus is 10 hours late. I sat in the Greyhound station for 10 hours. Supposed to leave at 5 a.m., be there by 10 a.m., same day. Denver and Albuquerque are super close as the crow flies. It's not New York to LA, so it's pretty close. And I finally get on the bus. The guy's patient. Get there, rent a room, stay in a room for the night, go to the guy's house in the morning. I took an electric skateboard to the guy's house in the morning. I show up on a skateboard. Did you ride that from? You took a Greyhound, right? I said, no, I didn't ride this electric skateboard from Albuquerque to Denver. That's not what I did. But I did ride it from the Burger King to his house because I took it from the hotel. I went to the Burger King, got some breakfast. Supposed to meet the guy at 10 a.m. And for 17 minutes, I met a person, looked at the bus, took it for a test drive, signed a piece of paper, a bill of sale, because what does that do? And forked over a few $1,000s to a guy I just knew for 17 minutes, turned a key on a bus I've never driven before, and every video that I've ever seen of that first, where they make it a mile down the road and then the bus conks out and then it costs $10,000 to get it towed, so all that's in my head. And I just started praying about it. That's really, I went with God and I prayed about it, and this sucker ran all the way home. Like that last little piggy, all the way home. Am I still recording? Yeah. It's my second time recording this. And it made it. And even if it doesn't make it, that's part of the adventure, really. Because if you think about it, I don't know how much a roof costs, but even if you have to put a new motor in it, which is a new motor is somewhere in the area of $20,000. You might be able to get a little bit cheaper, but in the $20,000 range, if you put a new motor in it, not something you want to do right away, of course, but it's under warranty. probably from International. So then you have nothing to worry about up there. Zero to worry about up there. So that's something to consider too. Even if it is hurting a little, one day, yeah, and I'm gonna have this bus 20 years. One day, yeah, I'm gonna put a motor in it, and that's all right. And it's gonna be under warranty, so it's one less thing I got to worry about, and then more time I can put into all that. And seeing how I'm not going to drive very often, I drive less than 10,000 miles a year when I was busy. Now that I'm kind of retired, I know I'm not driving 10,000 miles a year. Get the bus home, and as a track guy, I was a car guy, specifically a track guy. Drive it once a month, start it once a week, keep it moving. Don't let it sit and break on you. Still recording? And keep the fluids moving. If you could drive it around the block, drive it down to Napa. That's another thing. The part stores that are on your side as a giant diesel vehicle owner now, the part stores that are on your side are all the local mom and pop auto parts stores. The O'Reilly's auto parts chain are really good. The small ones, not the big ones. You go to one in a big city, it's going to be a bunch of kids that work. But if you go to one of those outskirts part stores around the outskirts of town, it's all old guys who'll teach you everything you need to know. Literally teach you everything you need to know. And AutoZone is not on your side. That's a corporate. It's like a Dollar General of part stores. What's the other one? There's O'Reilly's. Advanced Auto Parts is on your side. They do a ton of commercial work. O'Reilly's and Advanced Auto Parts do a ton of commercial vehicle work. So they're going to know, like, they're not going to know everything all the time, but most of the time they're going to know, hey, you need this kind of injector or that kind of oil filter, and they're not going to screw you over on what you're getting. Now, as far as what you're getting, if you're looking for, I was looking for, me specifically, I'm cold right now. And I got diesel here, I got a wood stove, I got the heat from the bus, and I'm still a little, I think in a past life I was a grandma, but I think I was an old lady in a past life. But if you're looking for a cold weather bus, the good northern buses are going to be from western Texas over to Nevada, Denver, Albuquerque, Farmington, New Mexico, Flagstaff. You'll probably never get a California bus. I don't even know if I've never seen a California bus for sale. But this is just what I know from 3 years of research and then actually pulling the trigger on a vehicle. The fears that I had. With buying something sight unseen, essentially. You're gonna know the guy for 10 minutes, and then once you fork over the money, it's over. He is no longer involved. He offered you no warranty, implied no warranty. You are on your own. And when I was driving down Highway 25, I was on my own. And even have a secondary driver. So these are all the fears that that go through your head. And in the end, it's something you just have to go for and make the leap of faith.